Okay, so this is the recording. We're going to walk through the how to build a test within the learning management system. And these options are going to be under content and then question bank. So this works as kind of a two-step process. You have to build your questions into the learning management system. And then once you build your questions, then you can build a test. So it's kind of cart before the horse kind of thing. So what we'll do first is we'll click the create a new question button. Actually, before that, we want to create a category. And a category is how your questions are going to be arranged. So for example, if you want all of your, let's say we're creating a Blue Earth Wind exam, then we probably want to create a category called Blue Earth Wind. And then we could put all of our questions that are specific to Blue Earth Wind into that category. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so the testing is going to be covering wind, solar, and hydro for the operator perspective. So it's their operator testing, I guess, but it's going to cover all the different technologies.
Okay, so for example, I'll call this operator. I'll call this Blue Earth.
So you're going under content or admin?
This is under content.
Oh, here, for some reason I couldn't figure out where you were, but I had a screen on top of your screen. That's why I couldn't see. Okay, step one, to go to content.
Yeah, and I'm going to run through this. I'm going to record it. We only have half an hour, and I want to make sure that we cover everything in that half an hour.
Yeah, I'll stop commenting.
Yeah, please let me know if you have questions, and if you didn't see something, please let me know, and I'll be happy to show you again. So the first thing we do is, let me exit out of this and go back. And so we go to content and question bank. And this is going to bring us to our question bank. And so we want to organize our questions into categories. And so I'm going to call this category Blue Earth Operations or Operator. And there isn't a parent category, but if I wanted to create a category under Blue Earth Operator, let's say, for example, I'll create this category Blue Earth. So we need a reference number. And then I'll create one called Blue Earth Operator. We'll have Blue Earth be the parent. And this is just for means of organizing your questions. So what I recommend doing whenever you are building your questions, I recommend building them into a spreadsheet and creating an identification number. And your spreadsheet could be something
like Excel or something?
Yeah. So we'll have a question distractor. Or answer 1, answer 2, answer 3, answer 4, and then also creating a reference number for each one of the questions. So it's going to help you with building this exam if you already have your content put together in like an Excel document or a Word document.
Okay.
So first thing I'm going to do is create a new question. I'm going to click the Create New Question link at the top. And so the category, I'm going to select my category, Blue Earth Operator, and I'm going to create a question. We'll say, what color is the sky? And this will be the reference number that you entered on your spreadsheet for the question. And so we'll select the response type. The response types we have are yes or no, true, false, multiple choice, single answer, multiple choice, multiple answer, text only, free form, and click on an image.
Well, every option possible.
Yeah, there's the free form image, or free form would be an essay, which means that someone would have to grade the essay. All the others are going to be automatic. So I go in and click multiple choice, single answer. And then I have to create my responses. So I'm going to click this, and the first response is going to be, say, red. Add another response. Okay, so I have 4 responses, and we have to tell the system what the correct response is going to be. And then we also select the always display if we always want all of these options to display. You can include all of the above, or you can include none of the above. I will say that this will get confusing if you randomize your questions or if you randomize the answers. For example, if you randomize your answers, then you might have all of the above appearing at the top. So if you are going to randomize your questions or randomize your answers, I don't recommend using none of the above or all of the above. And then if you want, you can type in an explanation. It's not required. So we'll say...
so random means like you're just jumping around, they don't get the same question every time. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's going to change the distractors. It's going to change the order of the distractors each time.
Oh.
And I'll show you what this will look like.
Yeah, no problem.
So I'm going to submit. And I'm going to create a new question. And I'm going to say, want to do a fill in the blank. So the trainer call is named do a blank, and we'll do a reference number for this, and we'll call this BE02. And this is going to be a fill in the blank, which will be text only. And then we have correct answers. So we'll enter one correct answer, and we'll say Dusty. Add another correct answer. Actually, click Save. Enter another correct answer. We'll say this will be Dusty. Since there's 2 spellings. So we're basically telling the system what the acceptable correct answers are. So for this, we have 3 correct answers, and I'll select my category. And then submit. And if you have multiple responses, we'll say this question type is going to be multiple answer. So say this is a question that has multiple answers, and we'll give this BE03 reference ID, and we'll select our category.
So every question's got their own specific reference ID.
Yeah, you don't want to use a reference ID more than once. So if it's already existing, you'll get an alert
That's why it's good to have it in an Excel spreadsheet beforehand then.
Yeah, exactly. So you're able to organize your responses, and so we'll say this is correct one. So we have more than one answer correct. We'll select the items that are correct, and then we'll select always display for these responses. And so that's going to be the multiple answer option. Are there, do you want to look at any other questions? What type of questions are you going to put in?
Well, I got pretty much everything you got there. A lot of, I'm going to have some written ones, like a basic.
Like a free-form essay?
Yeah, maybe just one of them too, maybe. I don't know, those are harder to mark, those ones. I'm just thinking, maybe I might.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I think I want to have this so I don't have to do any careful marking afterwards. But it'd be nice to know how to do the free form, just in case.
Well, the essay question will require you to
mark it.
Yeah. So select our category. Click submit. Okay, so we have 4 questions, and we can select our category here. Search, and it's showing that one category. I'm going to edit this question. We have the option to edit over on the right. So let me click search again.
Oh, you can change the type of question and everything, can you?
Yeah, you can edit the question. Like once you add the question to an exam or a test, this trash can option is going to go away. Because once you enter it into an item, you cannot delete it. So this will show us what it's going to look like. This little eyeball icon will let us preview the question. So any questions about building the question bank so far?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's just a matter of doing it a few times.
Yeah,
I got a binder here, an inch thick of questions, so there's no shortage of that. It's just a matter of trying to, in the old days, it was a lot of written stuff that you just had to know stuff. But I think I'm probably going to lean towards the multiple choice one, just not trying to trick them. I just want to make sure they know the basics, right? So.
Right. So to build the test, we go to the test engine option under content.
Test engine?
Click test engine. And this is the test engine. So all of the existing tests are currently listed. You should see something different whenever you go into this. So we want to click create new test. And then we'll name the test first. So I'm going to select call this Blue Earth test. We'll select the provider, and we'll select Blue Earth Renewables. And then we have to select the subject. And I'm just going to select something here for safety. Actually, I think you have your you have options already selected in under Blue Earth. They're not showing up here because this is the pilot system. But anyway, you select the grader. The grader is going to be who is going to be responsible for grading the essay.
Mr. Holland?
Yeah, I'm going to select myself. And then viewing the test score. So is the user going to be able to view the test score in Manager, allow test review? This is going to allow test review for the manager and the user. Allow review after every attempt. So this is all pretty much explained under each line or next to each line.
So basically, if I wanted to have a real test, I would, if I just want a refresher type thing, I could have allow them to go back and forth on questions. That's what that would mean.
Right. So this is going to allow user to review questions and correct answers. Will also display answer explanations if available. So I'll leave that one selected. Lockout is going to lock the user out of the test after a certain amount of time.
But the review level, basically, if I'm going to do a real test, I wouldn't want to select that one. I would select probably review questions only, so they can go back and check it later type thing.
Right. Yeah. So you can play around with them and see how you like the functionality.
Okay.
Attempts, we can set how many attempts the user is allowed. So if we want to say that the user can try this test twice, then we would set that here. And then I'll click the next page and we'll go to the structure. And this is where we're building the actual test. And so we're going to say that this user is going to have 30 minutes and the passing score is going to be 75. This can be whatever you want. And this is going to specify how many times a user can enter into the test. So that means once they start it, they can, if you have another entry, then they can exit it and enter back into the test. So by default, it's set to 0. So if a user exits the test, it considers their attempt complete. And so this is going to randomize section and randomize questions.
Every time they take it, it's a different order.
Right. And if you have 100 or 150 questions, and I recommend separating those into sections. So this is going to allow us to add sections. So we'll call this, for example, section 1. And this can be whatever you want it to be. For example, wind or
okay. Like 25 questions on the wind, 25 questions on solar or whatever.
Right. So now we want to add questions. So the way we add questions is we come over to this plus question icon on the far right.
Yeah.
We'll click that. And then this is where all of our questions are going to be located. And so if we select our category that we set up before, search for Blue Earth operator, search, and then we can click add all 3 questions and click done. And now it's added all 3 questions to that section.
Okay.
And I'll come down to this next section. I'll click the add question option. And here's the question that I want under just the Blue Earth category. I'm going to click the plus sign and then click done. So we have 3 questions in the first section, and then we have our essay question in the last section.
Okay. Okay.
So go into availability. This is going to specify who can search for this training. So I at least want to specify myself since I'm going to assign the training. If I don't set this to myself, then I won't be able to assign the training.
Okay.
I'm going to uncheck include subordinates. And then just going to skip past pricing. And this is the confirmation page. And I'm going to click finish. And now I'm going to come over to Learning Assignment Tool. And I'm going to create an assignment for this test. provider was Blue Earth Renewables. Add filter. And here's a test I created. So I'm going to select, click next. I'm going to leave these options. I'm going to assign, approve, and register, and then go to the next page.
Kind of like we did at the start, okay.
Yeah, I want this to occur right now. I'm going to select my user. I'm going to assign this to myself.
Oh, you're good at this.
Well, I've been doing it for several years. Click next and then submit. One of the things I want to show you, I didn't have a chance to show you before, is that this is in a queued status. And so it's going to stay in the queued status until it's processed. And that can take a few minutes depending on the traffic within the learning management system. So I'll wait for this to process, and then I'll be able to show you what the test will look like. And so another important reason that you should use a spreadsheet is it'll give you the opportunity to proof your questions in your test, because once you add a question to a test, you cannot edit the question, especially if it's already been assigned. So you want to make sure your questions are squared away. You can edit a question, but you would have to reversion the test. So it's going to create a new version of the test. And this is taking a couple minutes.
Well, you'd have to go back and select all the questions again.
Well, you'll have to you would have to go to the question that you want to edit. Let me go to that and show you that while we're waiting on this. So if we go to the question bank, and you'll see that there are no longer trash cans that are next to this.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to edit this question, so this question is an example or is a question that has multiple answers, then we would edit that. I'm sorry, we would make a copy of that question, and then we would make our changes to the question and then click submit. And then we would go back to the test, remove the old or the incorrect question, and then add the new question in.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of. I guess I really won't be worrying about that too much right now. It's more or less, I'll create a test now, but then next year I'll do another one, or I'll update the questions, things like that. So.
Yeah, so your question bank can be, the nice thing about a question bank is you can use it in multiple tests. So yeah, one question can be used in as many tests as you want.
Okay, it's always there. I can keep adding to the question bank too, right?
Yeah.
Like for the next few weeks, I'm just going to sit in the question bank and just hammer out questions. Well, first on an Excel spreadsheet, of course, but hammer out questions and dump it in there. Yeah,
that would be best. I'm going to launch this test. This was on my transcript. And going to continue. And I have all my questions. So what is the color of the sky? We're going to say blue. Dusty's the name of the trainer. This one's correct and this one's correct. And click summary. It'll show us what's answered. And so we have not submitted the
test question.
Yeah, or the last one. Let me see if I can go back. This is the essay answer and summary. All of them are answered. Submit final answers. And this says pending grade. Now, if we didn't have the essay, then we would have the option to, like it would show the user what their grade was. But
Okay.
since we have an essay question, it's not going to show their grade just yet.
Okay,
So if we go under,
there's not going to be any essay questions.
okay, yeah, you're not going to do those?
No,
Okay.
I don't have time.
So test grading is where you would view your essay question. Okay, so I have this here. This is an essay question. This was submitted. So I'll view it and I'll give them a score. Submit. And now if I go back to my transcript, then that should appear on my completed transcript. And here's the test, and now it's showing completed. And it shows that I got everything correct. And if I view this review link, it'll let me review the test. It'll show me that I got everything correct. Now, if we go back to the testing engine, I want to show you how to review tests. So if we go to testing engine, there's the review box over here. I'm going to click this, and this has all the users that have completed the test. And if we click the this option right here, it's going to open up their test, and it's going to show us what they got correct or incorrect. We can also print this.
That way you can find out if everybody's getting the same question wrong. There's probably something wrong with the question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this user got one question incorrect.
I'm going to have to cut out in about 2 minutes. I got to go to a meeting.
Okay, yeah, I do as well.
Yeah.
Show details is going to show what they picked.
Yeah.
So, and you can also, there's also a report under standard report, and under training, you should have a test report. Yeah, test analysis and test question item analysis. These are some reports that you can use to report on your tests. So yeah, please take the time to play around in the system, familiarize yourself with it, and then let me know if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to get on another call with you whenever you want to start building this stuff.
Oh, that'd be perfect. I'm gonna just go crazy with the basically the question bank for a while. It'll take me a week or two to get some questions built up. So
okay.
and then I'll probably give you a call back.